Module 9, Governance, Institutions, and Infrastructure Delivery. 1. The centrality of governance and infrastructure. Governance can be defined as the manner in which authority, power, and resources are exercised in the management of a country's social and economic development. For infrastructure, governance is the bedrock that determines project conception, who decides what infrastructure is needed, planning and design, the inclusiveness and evidence base of decision-making, financing and procurement, transparency, efficiency, and accountability in resource mobilization, implementation, capacity of contractors, regulators, and monitoring agencies, sustainability, ensuring that infrastructure assets serve long-term developmental goals. Without good governance, even the most well-financed infrastructure projects collapse into inefficiency, cost overruns, corruption, and abandonment. 2. Institutional frameworks for infrastructure development. Institutions are the rules of the game, both formal, laws, policies, regulations, and informal, norms, cultural values, political bargains. For infrastructure delivery, strong institutions ensure stability, predictability, and fairness in the execution of projects. Weak or fragmented institutions, on the other hand, breed policy inconsistencies, political capture and rent-seeking, duplication of responsibilities among ministries and agencies, inadequate regulatory oversight. Types of relevant institutions include executive institutions, ministries of works, transport, energy, housing, etc. Regulatory institutions, independent agencies ensuring safety, quality, and fairness. Legislative bodies, lawmaking for budgetary approvals and oversight. Judicial institutions, courts handling contract enforcement and dispute resolution. Civil society and watchdogs. Media, NGOs, and citizen groups monitoring corruption. 3. Governance models and infrastructure. Globally, several governance models have emerged. State-led models, where governments directly plan, finance, and operate infrastructure, effective in countries with high state capacity, e.g., China. Market-led models, where the private sector takes the lead in financing and managing infrastructure, often under regulatory oversight. Hybrid/PPP models, a partnership between government and private investors to balance public service goals with efficiency incentives. Community-led models, especially for rural and small-scale infrastructure where communities manage local projects directly. Each model requires robust governance mechanisms to align interests, avoid elite capture, and ensure accountability. 4. Challenges of governance in infrastructure delivery. Corruption and rent-seeking, kickbacks, inflated contracts, and ghost projects drain resources. Political interference, projects driven by electoral cycles rather than national priorities. Institutional weakness, overlapping mandates, poor coordination, and inadequate technical expertise. Policy inconsistency, changing priorities with every administration. Elite capture, infrastructure skewed toward wealthy areas while poor regions are neglected. Judicial inefficiency, slow contract enforcement discourages investment. 5. Principles of good governance in infrastructure. To counter these challenges, countries must adopt governance principles such as transparency, public disclosure of project details, procurement processes and budgets, accountability, clear roles and responsibilities with consequences for mismanagement, rule of law, strong legal frameworks to enforce contracts and punish corruption, participation, engaging citizens and stakeholders in decision-making, equity, fair distribution of infrastructure benefits across regions and social groups, efficiency and effectiveness, streamlined processes to ensure projects are completed on time and within budget. 6. Case studies in governance and infrastructure. China. Centralized governance with long-term planning has enabled massive infrastructure growth, though at the cost of limited participation and environmental concerns. Nigeria. Governance challenges such as corruption and political patronage often derail infrastructure delivery, leading to abandoned projects. Singapore. Transparent, efficient, and meritocratic institutions underpin its world-class infrastructure systems. Kenya. The infrastructure bond model demonstrates how governance reforms in financing can lead to innovative infrastructure delivery. 7. International best practices, establishing independent regulatory bodies to minimize political interference, implementing digital procurement systems to enhance transparency, institutionalizing long-term infrastructure master plans that transcend political cycles, adopting performance-based contracts to ensure quality, encouraging citizen oversight platforms to increase accountability. 8. Governance and sustainability. Governance also determines whether infrastructure is sustainable in environmental, financial, and social terms. Weak governance often leads to white elephant projects, non-maintenance of existing infrastructure that damages ecosystems or displaces communities. Strong institutions integrate sustainability indicators, green infrastructure, inclusive access, resilience to climate change, into infrastructure policies. 9. The future of governance in infrastructure. The rise of digital governance, e-governance, blockchain in procurement, and AI-driven monitoring systems is transforming infrastructure oversight. Countries that embrace these innovations can significantly reduce corruption, enhance efficiency, and ensure long-term success in infrastructure delivery.